Hello and welcome to the Small Business University, actually Mid-Atlantic Federal Credit Union Small Business University. My name is Kelly Leonard. In addition to being your host, I'm the CEO of Taylor-Leonard Corporation, a Montgomery County-based small business. Each month, we gather the business community to network, collaborate, share best practices in an effort to stimulate regional economic development. Today, we are joined by Mike Bishop. Mike is the community director for Yelp, and he is going to be sharing with us some strategies to be all-stars in brand reputation, I believe.
Yes.
So we're excited to have Mike here. Buckle in. It's going to be a good time. Welcome. Take it away, Mike.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. Okay. I know that I said that it's going to be about reputation management. There's going to be a lot of food included because we are Yelp and I love food. But here's the goal of the presentation. If I don't talk about how many favorite Filipino dishes I have. Managing a business's online reputation is vitally important nowadays. What are some of the best practices of getting involved? Why not just leave it alone and let it do its own thing? How does it benefit my business? This is sort of the agenda that we're going to go through. Bio and abstract, base facts, take the wheel, responding to reviews, bettering your online reputation, and leveraging it. So bio and abstract, that's me at the San Francisco headquarters, but I am from the Maryland Burbs. I just want to tell you I'm not a hotshot from New York. I went to Richard Montgomery High School. I then went to Towson University. My first job was it was Seven Locks Plaza when I was there, Theo's restaurant in Seven Locks Plaza. It's not there anymore, and I collect vintage clocks. That's just a little thing about me. This is one of my favorites. It's a General Electric timer clock, and it's kind of cool. You pull out the pins of where you want the minutes, like if you want 20 minutes, you pull out the 20-minute, past that pin. It's cool. I enjoy it. I have about 20 vintage clocks now, looking for that cuckoo clock if anybody has one, okay? If they want to sell. So my job is to connect the Yelp community with local businesses and to encourage people to spread the good word about their favorite local businesses. I sponsor events. I throw my own events in the community. Just had one at Mellow Mushroom in Rockville. I write a weekly newsletter about local businesses, run promotions, and then my job really is to know about the amazing businesses in the area. A little bit different from the 50s and 60s when you would sit around the kitchen table and talk about your favorite local businesses. And that's sort of the word of mouth that you were getting from your neighbors and your family. And marketing is a little bit different too. It's not just coming from the companies. Marketing is coming from the consumers. So the consumer voice has become more and more powerful in marketing, advertising, and disseminating information about businesses and products is really the abstract that I'm having here. So base facts, I'm not sure what's doing that. 82% of consumers consult online reviews before making a buying decision. Huge number. 82% of users visit Yelp because they intend to buy a product or service. Then, even more convincing, 89% plan to make that purchase within a week. 5% increase in revenue for each increase in star rating, or 5 to 9, I believe. And then 19% increase in table bookings for a star rating increase of a half. Yelp is a leading source. We have 162 million people visiting the site monthly, 100 million plus reviews. So how are you going to manage that? It's a lot of people coming and finding out about your business. The best way is to claim your business on Yelp, okay? Now, you can claim it on other sites too. I work for Yelp, so I can speak a little bit about what you can do once you claim your business on Yelp. It's not mission impossible. It is very easy, and the interface is really user-friendly. So here are some of the things that you can do. You can view activity, people coming to your page. You can add specialties of your business, which increases your SEO online. You can put history, meet the owner, business recommendations, check-in offers. It's just endless. And I underline the adding photos because it is so, so important. And I'll show you why. A business with 1 to 5 reviews and 10 photos sees 200% more user views than a business with the same number of reviews and 0 photos. So photos are really important. You can see that right here, the business difference in looking at the photos on top and bottom. Responding to reviews is also a really important thing, right? People think it's like walking a tightrope. The big question on Yelp is whether to respond publicly or privately, and there's pros and cons to each. Public response, obviously consumers see it. It instills confidence in the brand when the owner is coming and responding to the reviews. Oh, I'm sorry, one thing. And it's a useful advertising tool. You can add in stuff like, hey, if you're responding to a review about how somebody loved a turkey sandwich, put it, hey, we have a great happy hour where the turkey sandwich is half off. So you can advertise in the responses. This is a great response from a business owner. I'll read it for you. Hillary, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bordering on obsessive, I like that. We're glad we could help. You re-sparked that putting spirit because it's for urban putt. I'm sorry there wasn't enough seating when you were in. We get pretty crowded, especially on the weekends, so she's making a little bit of a concession. We are not a gigantic space, the wonders of San Francisco real estate, and we decided to pack as much mini golf into the ground floor as possible. We're so pleased to welcome you back anytime, and then so on. And she even asked a question. I think the best thing about responding to reviews, publicly or privately, is you're connecting with a consumer. You're connecting with a customer because this person has been to your business. Any savvy business person knows that retaining a customer is much, much less expensive than acquiring a new customer. So you have customers out there that are waiting for you to establish a deeper connection with them. That's really what Yelpers are. So private responses, they're better forum for conversation. The thread on Yelp when you're responding to a review is going to come at the bottom. Obviously responding to a review privately, you're just going to have a response back and forth like a little bit of a chat. You could address issues in long form, like you don't have to worry about being concise and a little bit, and extremely diplomatic, though, my boss told me, anything you write or say ever, that can be, used for or against you. So keep that in mind. Anybody can take a screenshot of your response. And then it's organized for reference if you need it. You can search your messages in Yelp for any specific references, which can help you. You can, hey, if you're trying to promote your happy hour or your small business loans, you can track how the customers are responding to that and how you're responding to the reviews. So my best advice for responding to reviews is be authentic. I think that's really in all business interactions, to be authentic, but especially in responding to reviews. It's something that people will see right through if you're not authentic. If it's that canned response, thank you so much for your response to us or for your review. We really appreciate your feedback. Please feel free to reach out to me at this email. People are like, well, that took somebody 2 seconds to copy and paste onto that review. Now, if you put something in the review saying, hey, I'm so glad that you liked X, Y, or Z. I'm so glad that you liked our service where we came out to your house. That's something that we're really proud of. It just looks more authentic. And really, when you respond to a review publicly, especially, people are looking at that. People are looking at the business's response, which kind of brings me to my next point. Negative reviews, responding to negative reviews. Sort of a good rule of thumb is if the review is really negative and it's amongst a lot of great reviews, just leave it alone. Like I said, when you respond to a review publicly, it draws attention to that review. So people will read the business owner's response and then they'll read the negative review. Whereas most of the time, let's say your business has a 4, 3.5, 4, 5-star average, people are just glazing by like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 5. And they're just chalking that up to, really people are looking at the trend of the reviews more so than each review. So when you respond to something, just remember it's drawing attention to that review. The good rule of thumb too when responding to reviews is sort of handle it like you would handle a face-to-face interaction. Literally write it out, think about it, leave it for a little bit, but think, would I say this to somebody to their face in person? If you go that way, if you have a successful business and you sort of use that rule of thumb, your response is going to be tailored appropriately. Okay, so when you respond to reviews sometimes, people can update their review. So this is a 1-star review of somebody who bought cheese from this cheese store and it turned out to be bad and it made them sick. The person was contacted by the business and the person chose to update that review. The update is actually what counts towards the overall star rating. She says, I received a call from Ken who offered either refund or replace the cheese that I had. Every business has their sort of, faults and bad days and, mistakes. We're humans. This is great customer service. Really, eases my qualms about returning to the business. What do you do to better your online reputation? Customer service. Truly, I know it sounds common sense, but how many of us here goes to a place and receive poor customer service? How many times during the day, out of the day, usually you might visit 2, 3, 4 businesses. Usually one of those experiences might be not so great. A majority of experiences tend to be great. And that sort of mirrors what happens on Yelp with reviews. 79% of reviews on Yelp are 3 stars or higher. Because usually people go to a few businesses a day and one just wasn't such a great experience. That's actually one thing is a common misconception is people go to Yelp just to complain. No, people go to Yelp actually to write about their experience with local businesses, which most of the time happens to be positive. Thing is, there are those negative experiences, but people are really using Yelp to find great local businesses. You're using Yelp to go on there and find the best restaurants and the best, pet stores and the best doctors. And customer service really is something that is scrutinized, I would say, but also is lauded and rewarded. This is an interesting fact. Yelpers who mention good customer service are 5 times more likely to write a 5-star review than a 1-star review. Huge. On the other side of that, 70% of reviews that mention bad customer service are 1-star reviews. So customer service is huge and key. Speaking to business owners all the time, I understand how much of a focus of customer service that literally will translate on Yelp to higher star averages. One of my favorite businesses, Peg Leg Vintage, for instance, she says that about 80% of her reviews that mention good customer service come out at 5 stars. And she realizes that, it's part of running a business, right? But she realizes that the Yelpers who come in, the people who are gonna, go online and give you, those great reviews, really care about customer service. It's your average customer, but also it's those customers who are taking it to the next level and wanting to spread the good word about local business. So really, I can't emphasize it enough. Customer service, having a sort of mission, having your team all together on the same page is huge to bettering your online reputation. So how can you leverage it? Business owners can use Yelp-generated content to help tell their story. So this is part of using your online reputation that you've built to sort of, spread the good word yourself. These consumers are spreading the word. Why not use it? Why not use it as free advertising? So why to do it? It's quick. It casts a wide net, especially if you're putting it on social media or even putting it up in your shop. Everybody's seeing these great reviews that people are writing about you, and you can link it back to Yelp where people can find more information about your business. If you flesh out your Yelp profile by claiming the business and sort of doing all of the things that I mentioned that are completely free to do, your business's page will be really, really useful for information and for guiding people to the business. If you put specialties, like let's say a pet store, puts in their specialty section that they cut the dog nails, that they do dog grooming, they do, the dog fingernails, and that sort of stuff, people don't 100%, I don't think, oh, this pet store is 100% going to cut the fingernails of my dog. But if I see that and they're a great rated business, why not go there? So this business, Steam, which is a coffee bar, says, put what our customers are saying on their webpage. Baristas make a great drink with top-notch coffee. Owner is always there and clearly invested in making this high quality and friendly spot. I mean, you can pay a PR person or a marketing person, a lot of money to come up with such great words about your business to market, clearly invested. That is something that really, that matters to me, that the person is invested in their business, that they are, that they're caring, they're there, they care about their customers, they care about their product, which is something that it also might seem common sense, but doesn't all the time, When you go into a business, you're like, well, this is a little bit dirty, this is a little bit this and that, it doesn't really look like the owner has a, good idea of what's going on here. So, why leverage your online reputation? It does give a hat tip to Yelpers, which is fantastic. It adds in being authentic. You're using what your customers are saying about you to advertise yourself. And links to Yelp, that never hurts. Business owners can print reviews to share with their staff. It's also a good way to motivate your staff. So I know a lot of businesses that read the online reviews, the positive ones, to their staff to reward them. Studies have shown that positive feedback is much more effective in giving your staff than negative feedback. So relying more on the positive feedback and reading some of these great reviews and shout outs and rewarding your staff members for this. This is using your online reputation to leverage how your business works in store. It's a way to reward your staff. It's a way to win hearts and minds. It shows that you care about your staff, you care about what's being said about your business. It's a useful feedback tool. Main takeaways from my presentation, I would say, is to claim your business page, obviously. That's really like you're taking the, lack of a bull by the horns, You are taking all of the information on the web and you're kind of framing it how you want it to be framed. By putting a Meet the Owner section on your profiles, whether on Yelp or other places, that shows that the owner is really invested in all forms of, all of their business, They are taking time to handle their online reputation, their in-store reputation. They are, they're caring about all parts. Adding content is huge. Content is king. Pictures, a history about your business, a history, owner section, talking about you, and adding personal flair to it is great. It humanizes you. And respond to reviews. So a great company that really manages their online reputation well is And Pizza. We've worked with them. They literally respond to reviews in real time. They have somebody who has the Yelp business owner's app on their phone. He gets a notification when a review comes in, and he responds either publicly or privately, according to sort of the rule of thumb on those, right? That is huge. Can you imagine you writing an online review and then maybe 5 minutes later getting a message from the business? That shows the business really cares. It's powerful. It's really powerful. That was actually the example that I showed where it sort of had a fleshed out Yelp profile. They make sure they have great pictures taken by a professional photographer up there. We at Yelp call your business page your sort of online storefront. How would you like your storefront to look, in public and online? Customer service is huge. It's just enormous. And as somebody who works with the Yelp community and hears, constantly from the Yelp community about, the places they've been and the experiences they've had, I hear sometimes, oh, the food was great, or no, sort of the other way around. Oh, the customer service was not so great. The food was okay. I probably won't go back. Or the food was okay, the customer service was amazing, I'm definitely going back. And if you think about it in your personal experiences, most people tend to agree. The customer service is just epic. I had a meal at Gordon Bierce the other night where the gentleman brought just sample beer pairings out of nowhere, just to say, hey, here are some of our beers. You're having the salmon. This beer pairs well with it. I'll give you a small sample. Just unexpected, nice surprise. That's just amazing. I'm going to remember that for a while. Leverage your reputation. You've built it. You take a lot of time. It does take time. You know, it is something that businesses have to do nowadays, managing their online reputation. So use it to better your business. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I appreciate it. And now we're going to take some questions. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Hi, thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
My name is Matt Ratz. I run a small consulting company called Harness the Promise.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if I can create a business page on Yelp or if it has to be created by the customer.
Yeah, you can create a business page on Yelp. All you have to do is literally search for your business. When it's not there, you'll see a button in the lower right that says add that business, okay? Or alternatively, you can go to biz.yelp.com and literally sign up for your business and claim it sort of in the same go. And then from there, just start fleshing out your profile. Really easy, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Go first.
Janet Balanoff with Marketing Strategy Solutions. So I really like using Yelp as a consumer to help me find businesses to go to. But as a business owner, what can I do to help get those people to put reviews on the page after they've come to my business?
That's a tough one. So it's a tough one, but also you have some solutions for it because you don't want to solicit reviews by either giving discounts or rewards. You want to organically build your reviews. And one of the ways you do that is put an email auto signature for Yelp. Put on your web page that you have a Yelp profile. Also, hanging something in your store or your office where clients come. Light reminders to see that you are on Yelp. So people will be like, oh, well, you know, people think automatically restaurants on Yelp, but they don't 100%. You know, in this area, the community is growing and growing, and all of those sort of tertiary and businesses like consulting firms or marketing businesses or lawyers, that sort of stuff is, you know, people are starting to realize that they can leave reviews on that. So just light reminders, but make sure not to solicit because that is something that our recommendation software might pull your review into the non-recommended section if somebody says something to the effect of, hey, we were offered 10% off to write a review. Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm Daniel Parra with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Montgomery County, and my question is about how organizations, nonprofit organizations like us, could be promoted in Yelp and help our team, our membership, to grow in business. So something for Yelp. Thank you.
Nonprofit organizations are on Yelp. There are clients of nonprofit organizations. There are technically consumers of nonprofit organizations. Just using light reminders to build sort of reviews on Yelp is a huge thing. We work with a charity partner nonprofit, Bethesda Cares. And just since Bethesda Cares has sort of been telling their clients, hey, find us on Yelp, a really non-pressure way of saying, hey, maybe leave us a review. Their Yelp profile has started to build up reviews of amazing stories. Bethesda Cares is a nonprofit that works to prevent, ease, and end homelessness in the area. So the stories that some of their clients have are just touching. And I'm sure that a lot of nonprofits do that work where they really affect people's lives. So people telling their story can be huge for a nonprofit. So I would definitely encourage you to sort of put light reminders. Hey, find us on Yelp. And then you can use that to leverage your online reputations in showing the stories that people are telling about your nonprofit. Yes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kimmel. I'm a psychologist. I'm wondering, as you can tell from my gray hair, that all of this would be brand new to me. I mean, not just as of today, but in general. And I'm wondering if you have the sense of the age range of people that tend to use Yelp. It wouldn't have occurred to me to use Yelp, but obviously people do. So it's about who tends to use Yelp.
The demographics of a Yelper, but don't worry, I'm also getting a lot of grays in here too. If I come back in a couple of years for another presentation, I might have your color hair. The demographics of the Yelper, 25 to 48 is the sweet spot. A person who earns over $100,000 a year. And it's sort of mixed fairly equally among male and females. So if you think about a Yelper, though, they are going online to look for businesses to spend money at. So they're consumers who are usually, affluent in some respects. They're constantly going and figuring out where they want to go out to eat or what shops to buy at. And they're informed and they're vocal. They are people who like to share their opinion, and they are sort of savvy as far as that. They, are sharing their opinion online. They're looking at other opinions. A lot of people don't realize that Yelp is also sort of a social network. Once you start adding reviews, people will start complimenting those reviews, and they'll start voting funny, useful, cool on each of those reviews. And then once they become friends, you can become friends on Yelp, they'll start following that person's journey. And then you can be part of the community where I throw you cool events at Mellow Mushroom, or next week, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Bethesda. So we had a question back there.
Actually, we're going to need to wind this party down.
Can we take one more question?
Sure.
I'll try and answer it real quick. This gentleman has been waiting.
John Quinder Design.
John.
I know your focus mostly has been consumer level businesses, though I know there are a number of people here who are B2B businesses. How would your advice differ?
That's a difficult one. Business to business, we want consumers actually reviewing on Yelp, and when a business is reviewing another business on Yelp, there's a little bit of sometimes a conflict of interest there. So I would encourage you to use it more on the consumer level. If you are a business that really mainly focuses with other businesses, it's a really interesting. I haven't gotten that question before, but I can definitely tell you that we would discourage actually businesses from reviewing other businesses just because there is such a delicate sort of conflict of interest that might come up in that.
Well, this was awesome. Thank you, Mike. I think the biggest takeaway for me is, when you think about the responses, you said respond as if you're speaking to someone. Don't respond in a way, something that you wouldn't say to a person's face. And I think that is key
100%,
to the response. So thank you so much for joining us. We definitely appreciate your time. This actually concludes this episode of the Small Business University. We welcome again you for joining, or we thank you for joining us, and we hope that you will plan to join us again next month, actually on August 18th, where we will have Mike Razavi, who is a senior advisor with the U.S. Patent and Trade Office. His topic will be intellectual property, your key to business success. So we look forward to joining you again online next month and or here live in the studio. Thank you so much.